Thanks very much, Sam McKee. I'm Justin Horowitz with my very special guest, Cozette McAvoy, a corporate attorney with Novartis Pharmaceuticals, the third largest pharmaceutical company in the world. But why she's here is because she's also a trainer of 11 horses at Showplace Farms. Thanks for being with us, Cozette.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So you have a very unique story as a very successful corporate attorney in the high-powered world of the pharmaceutical business, but you're also a harness trainer. How in the world does a high-powered attorney with a bunch of awards become a harness racing trainer?
Well, it started out from being a kid and being in love with horses. My family actually had Arabians, and I was obsessed with them. Couldn't get away from them. And then when I was in high school, I actually got the first chance to work at a harness race breeding farm, which was White Horse Farms in Phoenixville, and got to groom Classic Cozette and Secret Money and a bunch of other really nice mares, and progressed through school and just never quite got past the phase where I was that kid asking her mom for a pony, and my parents couldn't afford it and would just send me to Girl Scout camp every year. And then one day when I was practicing and I'm sitting there thinking, well, you know, what do I do now? Here I am. I got the job I wanted. You know, what am I going to do with my free time? Suddenly I thought, well, gosh, you know, why don't I get a horse? It didn't really crystallize yet. I bought myself a pedigree and confirmation clinic seminar up at Saratoga, ran up there, went and ran into the TaylorMade boys that run TaylorMade, and their uncle actually turned out to be a standardbred guy, Billy Bob Taylor, and he started telling me how they were much better than thoroughbreds. I love thoroughbreds.
We agree. That's good.
But in any case, he was telling me, oh, you know, they race once a week and they're much more durable and they've got very calm, wonderful temperaments. They're easy to work with. You know, I've been training all my life. You can drive them. It's so much more fun. It's a family business. And it really started working on me. And I said, well, you know, this is starting to sound like something I could actually do, something where I could actually participate. And so then I claimed my first horse. And a week later, he got claimed back off me. And I said, gosh, I want to keep him. I don't want to have them lose them. So then I started claiming horses that I could actually keep and race in slightly better races. And it all started from there.
That's an amazing story. So you have a bachelor's degree in biology,
yes,
a master's degree in chemistry, and a law degree, which suddenly makes me feel very inadequate sitting next to you. But so how did you actually have time then to become a trainer? And you also shoe your horses.
I do.
So working as an attorney in a big-time area, an industry, how do you have time to actually train? Because everyone who's a regular trainer, that's like a lifestyle, not a job, and you do it on the side in addition to your powerful job.
Well, I mean, once you've been practicing long enough, it becomes like a lot of other things. It's not necessarily the hardest thing to apply the same set of legal analysis to a lot of different facts. You get used to doing it. You get more proficient. So it takes less time, and as well, I have a workplace that's really understanding with, I don't live anywhere near the office. It's North Jersey. So they're very good about letting me telecommute, and everything works out in the mix.
So where did you learn to train and shoe horses? Because obviously it's not something that was in your blood like so many other people in this business.
Oh yeah, I mean that was one of the big things that really I felt was a barrier, was the fact that, you know, I wasn't like Alec Ramsey, and there was no Henry to teach me. And I actually ran into the starter at Pocono, Bob Moran, and he said, hey, you know, why don't you jog some horses and why don't you shoe some horses? And he started teaching me the ropes, and there were a lot of different people who were willing to let me start jogging their horses, and I was jogging mine, and it all went from there.
So what was the biggest challenge getting into the sport as the trainer, especially as like an outsider who didn't have family or close people in your life that helped you?
Well, I think first of all, the biggest thing is financial. You know, you actually have to feel like, all right, I'm going to take a shot at this, and if it doesn't work out, I'm just going to chalk it up as the money was worth spending to have fun and to do this. And I think the second thing is really sources of information. Like, how do I do this? You know, what equipment when? There's a lot of resources you can actually use for that, but sometimes you're not really totally aware of where to go for all those things. And then obviously the people really makes a difference. Having the people to help me out and kind of guide me in the right direction was key.
So when you're in a powerful boardroom and you're making big, you know, multi-million, maybe billion-dollar deals, what do these people say about your side job as a harness racing trainer? They must think you're crazy, right?
They think it's really neat. I mean, a lot of these people, yes, they have great jobs, but they're all looking for excitement. They're looking for something else to do. And hearing about this to them, it's more interesting than another fishing story from one of their buddies. So they love hearing stories about it.
So are you going to get some of those people involved in the business also? Are you going to take them on as your new owners, some new clients?
I'm working on that. Secret right now.
Okay, we can definitely use the outside investment. That'd be excellent. So you were talking a little bit about the hands-on nature of the sport being such a big draw.
Yeah.
Is that really the biggest thing, especially for people who are bettors or they're fans, but they've never been hands-on like that? Is that really the biggest selling point for harness racing to get people involved?
I'd say it's a huge thing. Just being around the animals, getting the chance to maybe ride in the starting car to actually see the horses go around the track. It's just really amazing and just takes your breath away the first time you're able to do it. And even for me, I'm already doing this, but yet I can still ride in the car and just be completely amazed. And I really think that the connection to the animals and being around them and getting to see them race up close and personal is really what makes a big difference.
Now, you were telling me, in addition to the law and the harness racing, you're also very health conscious.
Yes.
Perhaps you might have had a bodybuilding career or something? What's that about?
Well, I've always been really into sports. I used to row crew and do track, and then I actually did a stint crossfitting, and I decided I was going to do a bodybuilding competition just for fun, just to see. It's really interesting when you're having to be so disciplined and you get to see how your body changes. And so I was actually planning on prepping for a competition the beginning of this year, but there's only time for so many things. So clearly the horses are a lot more important than that. But I still have that in the back of my mind as a thing I'd like to try to do.
Absolutely. So you have one horse in tonight, worth the money in race 10. 4-1 was fifth coming out of the dash for the C-Notes final.
Yes.
Tell us about that horse and what do you make of his chances tonight? He kind of looks like your stable star so far.
Well, everybody's ready at different times. I have a bunch of babies coming up that I'm really excited about. I got a 3-year-old I'm really excited about who still needs to get a little experience under his belt. But Oz is doing great. He's a great horse to train. He's not too much trouble compared to some of my other guys who really like to give you a run for the money even during the day. But for him, he's a trip horse. He really just needs to be put in the right position to make that brush at the end. And, if he gets the right trip, he can really be in the thick of things tonight.
Now, you started as the trainer of record in 2013, I believe, and still looking for your first official win as a trainer. Is that correct?
So I'll correct you, and I'll say 2014. So it's not as though I've been that long.
Okay, 2014, it started.
Yes.
Started owning horses in 2013. Maybe
So-
a little later. Whatever. Okay,
Early.
close enough.
Close enough.
The point is, we're hoping Worth the Money becomes the first winner for you tonight. What do you think that's going to be like to get your first training win, especially here at the Meadowlands?
Oh, that's going to just be amazing. I mean, the facility's great. The track's great. Oz really loves it here. You got that nice long stretch. I don't know. I'm gonna have to stop myself from crying. If that does happen, that would be wonderful.
Well, we're really excited to have you here. Thank you for spending some time with us. Great
Thank
to
you
get to
very
meet you
much.
and tell your story. Cozette McAvoy, the lawyer / harness racing trainer. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.